Hello! Today we are doing 3 minutes straight of palm drills, motions, whatever you want to call them. We are not moving our legs at all. We are just going to be moving our upper body. This is a great little workout to go through whether you are brand new to palm motions and you're trying to learn the mechanics of the movements, or you're a little bit more experienced and you really just want to sharpen and tighten up your movements. My recommendation is that you go through this entire video, really go with your full effort, being really sharp and strong, and that'll be a full 3 minutes. Then take a breather, grab some water, stretch out your arms a little bit, and then try it again after resting for about a minute or two. And I would do a few cycles of this, especially if you're getting ready for audition season or you're getting ready for your season where you're gonna be having to run these palm routines over and over and over. You wanna build up that muscle endurance. Make sure that while you're doing all of these, you still work on engaging your core and keeping a neutral pelvis. I would not encourage you to do the motions like this, because if you are training for this to apply to a dance or for you to audition or something, you are never gonna be just doing these motions in isolation and standing like a crazy person. In addition to keeping your core nice and tight and standing tall as you do these exercises, be very mindful of your wrists and your hands in these movements. I'm not gonna actually hold palms today, so that will help you be able to see which way my hands are facing, because it actually does make a difference. If you didn't know, palms are not actually like a sphere. They're not a perfect sphere. They're kind of more like oblong. And so depending on how you turn your wrist, you'll get a different picture. And when you have a team or several people holding palms and trying to create pictures, if some people have their palms turned slightly, then it's gonna kind of disrupt the picture. Also pay attention that you don't break your wrist, unless it is like a stylistic choice told to you by a choreographer. Don't let your wrists break like this. You wanna continue the line, almost just make it like a straight line, straight out, no matter where you are. We tend to see this when we go up into a high V. People would kind of do this. But instead you wanna make sure that it stays in line with your arms. Last thing I'll say, some things that help me on being really nice and sharp and strong. Number one is having upper body strength to support the movements. So doing things outside of this workout, things like push-ups and pull-ups, hitting the gym, doing some workouts, getting your upper body and your back really strong. One thing to know is that you're using your back to support all of these movements. It almost feels like I'm initiating the movement from these muscles right here in my back, rather than thinking of initiating them from my hands themselves. It can also help if you pretend that you have to stop and hit something, like pretend that there's a wall behind you that you can't fling your arms past. And I do have another video talking about how to dance sharper that I will link down and up here where I go more in depth. You don't have to think too much as you do this follow along video, just kind of pay attention to what I'm saying and calling out. But if you want more of a reference point, just know that we're gonna do 4 of the same drills back to back for 4 8 counts each. Repeat all 4 of those, and then we'll go into a second section that we're only gonna go through, I think, twice. Whatever we have time for, to be honest. I'm not sure how long this song will last us. Before we start, I'm actually gonna go through what all of the movements are. If you're more experienced with palm, you could probably skip this part and just jump right in and do the follow along portion. But if you need a little bit more of a breakdown of the specific movements, then keep watching this part. So our first motion is gonna be a high V, T, low V, T. So it goes up, middle, low, middle, up, middle, low, middle. And as I do my high V, my little hole that is created when I make my fist, the bigger one, the one that's closer to my thumb, not the other one. Sometimes people call these cinnamon rolls or donuts. This donut, the big donut, is facing forward. So make sure you're not doing this, but you're here. Okay, so my donuts are facing forward. Then I clap. I prefer to clap just like this with my elbows tucked into my sides like here, and I clap. And then when I shoot out straight side, they're knocking downward together. This way, they're still facing forward, and then same thing again. Okay, that's the first movement. The second movement, we are just doing punches up to that high V position. With palm motions, you can break through like this, or you can swipe, sometimes called a slice. This is gonna be a break. So you're gonna break down across your body, make a diagonal, punch it up, and then repeat on the other side, down, punch it up. And you'll just keep going down, punch it up, down, punch it up. And that will be another 8 count. Third one, we're gonna go to a rocket. Rocket is up here above your head. It's a little bit awkward. Your palms are together and it's kind of a little bit in front of your face. You probably are not gonna be all the way here. You'll probably be a little bit more forward. So you're punching up to a rocket, down to your clap, down to low V. And then you reverse that back. So punch up, punch down. The last one in the sequence, we're just gonna hit side to side. This one you kind of just get into the groove of it, and it makes more sense. When you do it slow, it's a little bit more confusing. You go break and break. Then you switch to the other side. Break and break. Break and break, break and break. I know it's a little funky, but just try that, and I'm knocking down the entire time for those. Okay, that'll be our first 4 exercises. The second group, we're gonna do these little diagonal switches. So you're making a diagonal, clapping, diagonal, clapping, diagonal, clapping, diagonal. After that, you'll do a throw down to a low V. So I'm kind of like, it's almost like you're lassoing, or you're like, I don't know, you're kind of like scooping. This one's a hard one to describe. This last one, you go up. They're just straight up by your ears. Break it down. So now you're in these daggers, and then slice it straight down, or break it straight down. So then you just reverse it back up. So you're here and down. We're gonna hold the first 8 count while I turn on the music. So don't start until I start. Here we go. Starting with high VT, low VT. Ready, 5, 6, 7, we clap. Up, T, low V, T. Hit nice and hard. All right, next we do our punches up to high V. Punch it up. Next is rocket, low V. Push up and down. Up, straight down. Last one, we're gonna switch side to side. You got it, switch and switch. Make sure you really stop those movements. Watch your wrists. I'm already feeling it. All right, we're starting with the high VT, low VT again. Clap it up, T, low V, T. Punch to high V, punch it up. Okay, rocket to low V, punch it up and down. Switching side to side. Here we go. Right and left. Make sure this one doesn't get messy. Okay, we start the next circuit, starting with the diagonals. Here we go. Together, out and out. I feel like we did too many. Sorry. Lasso to low V. Down and hit. I got carried away. I dissociated for a second. All right, next we do the touchdown. Here we go. Bring it up and down. Straight up, straight down. Keep going. Let's just keep doing this one to the end instead of starting the next one over again, because the song's about to end. And then you're done. Great work. Woohoo! Okay, I can't lie. That was actually the second time I did it, because the first time I didn't like how it turned out. I definitely feel it. After doing 2 rounds, I feel like, for me personally, that feels like enough for today. Next week, we're gonna bump it up a level to something more intermediate, where we're actually gonna be taking our feet into it. And so that's gonna definitely increase sort of the cardio fatigue that you'll get from it. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when I post that one. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope to have you back for my next video. Bye.